Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Ranger. Huh? Politoed, what are you talking about? You sure you got the right grunt? I hate to break it to you, but the grunt you're after hightailed it up this cliff already. Well, that's not what I care about. You're optimistic of the Go Rock Squad, aren't you now? Then I'm gonna have to mess with you and mess you up before you do any more messing around. In the last part, we reached Summerland, and now it's time for more Go Rock Squad Pokemon. And this time around, we actually have another new Pokemon. This is Beautifly. Beautifly isn't too aggressive, and its attack isn't too much to worry about. Its attack is to send some sort of pollen or dust out of its wings in a small circular radius around it. Compared to, say, Ludicolo's circle of randomly generated music notes, it doesn't go nearly as far, so if you're drawing wide enough loops or a high enough level, not a very hard Pokemon to catch. And also a relatively rare Pokemon if memory serves. Beautifly attacks by scattering glittery powder while flapping its wings. Hey, you grunt up top! The pesky ranger's trying to reach you! Don't get messed up! That's something I sometimes have trouble remembering in this game. There are some Pokemon that you can only obtain through a story battle like that, and are only one-offs. I think I want to say the Muck we caught at the Waterworks is the only time we have access to Muck in the game, for instance. I think Beautifly you might be able to find later down the line still, though. For now, it's time for Gligar, one of my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon. The big danger with Gligar is it's got some pretty good speed. Gligar rides the winds to launch attacks. Its claws can cut down small trees. Its main attack is that if it sees your, I forget if it's your capture line or capture disc, it does do a giant charge forward, and it does the same to you while you're on the vines to try, and I forget if it knocks you down or if you just, immediately enter battle. Welcome to the Jungle Relic, though. Notably, I want to come over here and get myself a Grovyle just for the sake of it, but also notice those flowers there that we need a gust power to do something to. I wonder what those could be. I have to hand it to you. You're persistent. You came to take this Politoed back, didn't you? But too bad, it's mine now. So what does that mean? It means it's your enemy. Politoed is actually a Pokemon I swear I remember being only available through this battle, but no, there's one we can catch down the line. Politoed is a frog, so get this, it jumps a lot. But being mostly water type, it's also weak to grass in this case, which is why I caught the Grovyle. I actually forget what its attack is. I think it either spits bubbles or it does something with its tongue. Politoed rhythmically hops about and squirts water vigorously. Okay, so it does probably actually do a version of the Crocodile attack. Oh, what just happened? I stole that Politoed by capturing it with my brand new styler. Why did it go away when the ranger captured it? That's just wrong. It's totally unfair. Don't ever forget this. Okay. I guess mission accomplished. So that's the problem with Pokemon captured with our new styler. It looks like those Pokemon return to wherever they came from if a ranger recaptures them. That's important to know, but why does that happen? Maybe because the ranger connects with the Pokemon on an emotional level? How ridiculous is that? As if that would ever happen. Totally preposterous. Alright, bye. Why were you even still here? Kyle, are you okay? Look, it's my Politoed. It suddenly appeared in front of me as if nothing had happened. And then it leapt into my arms. I couldn't help it, my eyes filled with tears. Thank you for so very much. I'm not letting my Politoed go ever again. Just, yeah, make sure that doesn't happen. But also give it some space. Okay, my tears are dry. Let's head back to the ranger base with the biggest smiles ever. Alright, sounds good to me. Yep, you sure were mentored by Spencer. It shows. I'm really grateful that you recovered Percy's Politoed. And thanks to you, we're starting to get a little better idea about the Go Rock Squad. So, Kyle, I hereby certify you as Ranger Rank 5. This is a pretty good rank up, but for one reason more than the other, because the Poke Assist we get here, not a favorite, although it can be useful. We now can use Rock Poke Assists. Oh, that's right. Kyle, I have to uncap your styler's partner gauge to 3 segments. This is the very important thing. Plus level mine in level 3 is really good on larger groups of enemies. Your leader, Spencer, Joel, and Fall City and I all worked on the same team when we were younger. Spencer and Joel, those two were outstanding rangers even back then. I wouldn't be surprised if they went to work for the Union eventually. Huh? What about me? That's not gonna happen. The slow and laid-back atmosphere of Summerland's what's best for me. But with the Go Rock squad showing up in Olive Jungle, I won't be able to just kick back now. Oh yeah, I'd better report this to Professor Hastings. Alright, so I guess we're done here. And we haven't gotten a message yet. I wonder, oh, there it is. From Spencer to Kyle. I have a new job for you. I need you in Fall City immediately. Alright, and if you want to go back to Fall City from Summerland or vice versa, you just have to hit up the Lapras on the far right side again. Now that you're going to have many opportunities to come back and forth during main story, this is mostly for late game kind of deal. But it's nice to have the route all the same in case you want to, I guess, go experience grinding, if you have the chance to. Welcome back, Kyle. You've gotten quite tanned. Cameron told me about that Polytoad abduction. Sounds like you came up huge. I'll have to get the details from you later when we have the time. I'd like to assign you your next job, so swing by the ranger base when you're ready to go. I have to confer with the others, so I'll wait for you there. Mind you, I talk about level grinding in this like it's a feasible thing, and in early game it honestly is because of how little experience levels take early on in the game. But by the time you reach the late game levels, they take a bit. Welcome back, Kyle. The three of us were discussing how to deal with the Go Rock squad. After showing up in Summerland, they've gone back into hiding.
What worries me are the stylers that the Go Rock squad were using. According to Cameron's report, they sound similar to my Stone Super Styler. 1, it can easily capture any Pokemon without the expertise of a ranger. 2, it enables the use of Pokemon abilities over and over, even for criminal deeds. While there appear to be minor changes, those stylers are undoubtedly based on my Super Styler. Worse, there's something that's of an even bigger concern.
Professor, is this what worries you? The Super Styler, which isn't fully developed, could harm Pokemon if they're forced to use their abilities. Professor, do you remember what Cameron wrote in his report? When Kyle captured the Go Rock squad's Pokemon, they were automatically released. Could that possibly mean their Styler hasn't been perfected yet?
That's correct, Spencer. That reasoning is sound. It appears as if the Go Rock squad Styler cannot fully control Pokemon yet. When a Pokemon under their control is captured by a ranger, it appears to return to its natural state. The sense of justice in the hearts of rangers must have an effect on such Pokemon. However, we still must do something before the Go Rock squad perfects their Styler. In other words, we don't have the time to waste chatting here.
Professor, you're as impatient as always. For the time being, Spencer and I will concentrate on gathering more intelligence. By the way, Kyle, there's a new job I want you to handle. Kyle, do you remember the Crockett Tunnel? It's the one you escorted the professor through. The tunnel is a vital traffic corridor that joins Ringtown and Fall City. However, it's been blocked off by Rockfalls. Citizens on either side of the tunnel are up in arms over this. Clear the Rockfalls that are blocking the Crockett Tunnel. That's your newest mission. I think this mission will be difficult for anyone to handle alone, so I've asked a Fall City Ranger to assist you. The Rangers should be on the way to the mission site already. I'm counting on you, Kyle. I mean, hey, we saw that all the way early in the game. I'm kind of surprised it took this long for anyone to get on a mission to clear it. But again, I think you better guess a lot of the Fall City Rangers, for instance, are all looking at the Go Rock squad stuff, so, I wasn't the biggest fan of this upcoming mission as a kid, and it's for a very kind of silly reason in retrospect. Clear the Rockfalls, Mission 5. The main reason I didn't like this one is because we're going back to an old area, and young me didn't really like the idea of that in this game for some reason. Alright, we know where the Rockfalls are in here. And it looks like some have already been taken care of. Hello again, Arya. Thank you, Hariyama. Oh, Kyle. Are you that Ringtown Ranger they said would join me later? You know, this doesn't look like a job that would take both of us. I've already done this much, so you can take care of the rest by yourself, can't you? There are only 3 Rockfalls left for you to take care of. I'm very busy with that Go Rock squad case, so I'll leave you to it. I mean, thanks? At least you did something. For now, though, it's time for another new Pokemon. It's time for good old Diglett. Diglett's whole deal is, it doesn't take too many loops, but instead of running around rapidly, it instead hides underground for a little bit, and I think it can still hit your capture line while doing so, even though it doesn't do damage. So you kinda just need to slowly follow it until it pops back up eventually. Diglett burrows about underground and sometimes rests with its head poking out. So the rockfalls that Arya didn't remove are 2 in this area where we got separated from Professor Hastings earlier on. But now if you go around and explore, there's also a new rockfall near the main entrance that we first entered Crockett Tunnel in all the way back in, like, what was that, part 3 or 4? But we first have to find Pokemon that can actively break it. For now, though, time for another new Pokemon. It's Geodude. Pretty slow, pretty short range attack that's just throwing a rock forward a very short amount. Not a lot to write home about, but it's also not too useful. Geodude may be found lying on the ground. It has the power to crush small rocks. A saving grace here, though. There are new parts of the tunnel we can explore, like up here. Oh, hi again. Pokemon Go! If you're in a hurry, stop in your tracks. Open your ears to our melodic attacks. The rhythm of rage pounds the ground. Let the melody of ambition rise to the skies. If you don't know us, we'll cure your ignorance. Billy, Garrett, Clyde, Tiffany, the Go Rock Squad's hot plastic band key shaker who takes celebrities. A name once heard, never forgot. The Go Rock Squads. The 4 of you are gonna do this every time, aren't you? Oh boy. We nailed our performance this time, right? Anyways. We came running when we heard Union Rangers were active in the Crockett Tunnel. So we get here and what do we find? Our old friend from Summerland's jungle cleaning up rocks. Is that like a side job or something? Somewhere within this cavern sleeps a legendary Pokemon. Have you heard such a rumor? Wouldn't you agree that is the most exhilarating and exciting of tales? Of course, mere rangers would never be able to gain mastery over any such legendary Pokemon. You rangers should stick to what you can do, such as play hide-and-seek with some Polytoad in the jungle. Or perhaps cleaning up rocks in this tunnel would be a more befitting job of you rangers. Ouch, harsh diss. Big Bro Garrett, you sure can put people down with the politest of words. Better yet, your words are absolutely spot on the money. When it comes to controlling Pokemon, the Go Rock Squad has it all over the Rangers now. After all, we've got our new stylers. We can catch Pokemon galore with them and rake in the dough by making them do exactly what we want. Well, it's not ready yet. It's still a prototype. What we're doing is partly testing too. Ranger, you can look forward to the day when we get the real thing. Ha! That's all you get to hear this time. Bye-bye! So do y'all just exist to gloat at me and then walk away? You know what, at least you're not testing your luck, I guess, so you're smarter than some other teams with that regard. With that said, welcome to Deeper Crockett Tunnel. There are a lot of stronger Pokemon here, including Magnetons. But the main thing we're looking for is the Pokemon that can break the rocks. I'm looking for a legendary Pokemon. Don't mess with me. I doubt you'll be able to do much against legendaries with 3 Geodudes. Mind you, I say that, but I've seen some weird sweeps from people in competitive. Don't get all serious on me. Sorry, I'm either going hard or going home. I don't know what you expect from me. Down here, though, we got a bit of an interesting Pokemon. It's time for Graveler. You may have noticed its sprite change there. Graveler can randomly just disguise itself as a bunch of boulders on the ground. And as you can see, it takes a lot of loops. Its attack is a stronger version of Geodude. It can throw a rock decently far. I don't even think it has a charge attack. I think only the one that does that is maybe a Golem. If it disguises itself as a rock, you can make it reveal itself by hitting it with a water field move power level of 2, I think. Graveler sometimes hides as a boulder and can break things by hurling rocks. But you can also make it undisguise itself by just leaving and re-entering the room until it decides to aggro onto you. But now that I have the Graveler, I want to take it back here, actually, to break that rock wall in the distance. But also here we got a Machop. It's a weaker Machop, just straight up in this game. It has a pretty far-reaching punch attack, but it can't do so while charging. Only the evolution can do that. It's just a weaker one outright. I could recommend holding on to the fighting Poke Assist this will give you until the boss at the end of the area, but I prefer one of 2 other things to use on that, honestly, because they're overall safer and quicker. Machop packs a lot of power into its small body. It can easily shatter small rocks. Not that that actually comes up too often. Honestly, small rocks are relatively rare in the game. So are a lot of things that take a field move power of 1 that aren't like one and dones anyway, like Flash or Cross. A lot of things in the game take a field move level of 2+ in order to destroy. For instance, we can use Graveler to break this cavern wall to find a relatively rare Pokemon. It's only findable here and in one other area. It's time for Kirlia. If Kirlia has an attack, it's a flashbang attack that emanates from the center of its body and then grows outward. That's pretty easy to get around. Its main ability, though, is to spin in a circle and then teleport to elsewhere on the screen. Any Pokemon that does that, I think, can teleport randomly anywhere onto the screen, even onto your capture line, so be careful of that, but it's kind of rare. When Kirlia spins on its feet, it'll teleport to obscure itself. Now this I recommend holding on to use against a certain fight in this area because having a Psychic-type Pokéassist is pretty good. You're a ranger? What do you think you're doing here? Attack! Oh no, adorable puppies, whatever will I do? Also, that's the level 3 of plus and minus attack. It is a star shapes of lightning bolts that's pretty effective at stunning basically any large group of enemies. No, I'm not upset. I'd be impressed if you managed to get past me. Alright. I'll take the save point too. In the distance I hear it, the forbidden cry. It's everyone's good old favorite Zubat. Zubat are kind of annoying in this game, not so much for their main attack, which is the growing sound wave attack, but because their movement pattern is them flapping up and down, sometimes they can just get slightly higher on the screen enough to just bonk into your capture line and break it, which is kind of annoying. Thankfully, they are taken out pretty quickly by Minun. Poliwhirl is just a faster and stronger Poliwag, same water jet attack and everything. But pretty good for a water Pokemon assist, which, as I've said time and time again, I love. Poliwhirl attacks with jets of water. Beware, it attacks repeatedly. Zubat prefers dark places like caves. It uses ultrasonic waves to attack. The Zubat, I'm not going to really hold on to from memory, but that Poliwhirl, yes. Now, I don't know why. Maybe it's the amount of Pokemon that's on screen here. Maybe it's how far I consistently got in the game as a kid. But something about this site right here is iconic to the game for me. Witness the straight arm punches of Hariyama, the toughest in the area. Hariyama Dojo. Pretty straightforward, and here we got a Hariyama. Hariyama are not to be underestimated because while we're still relatively early in the game, their physical attacks do pretty good damage and last a good while. While they're not moving, they are doing several punches directly in front of them to go about a single body width, which for a Pokemon this large is pretty notable. But we do need to capture them, because they have a field move that is Rock Smash level 3, so we need them to break the Rockfalls. And not for nothing, they're a pretty good source of experience this early on in the game if you want to just catch them, use them, and then catch them again, because if you can get extra loops to get them up to 90, that's pretty good. Also, I should note, the way catching extra Pokemon works in this game is a little interesting, in that every Pokemon entity is technically separate. Hariyama looses a barrage of straight arm punches that can shatter anything. And down here we're going to have the other 2 Hariyama we need to break all 3 Rockfalls that are remaining. What I mean by each of the Pokemon entities being separate... Oh yeah, this is a rare thing. If you actually capture a single Pokemon in battle while there's multiple, that actually still counts for experience, so you can level up off that. Say I catch one of these Hariyamas and come back in, they're not going to be there until I use one of them. So... you can catch as many, like, water-type Pokéassists as you want, but you can't openly grind the same one over and over again unless you use it. So keep that in mind if you're trying to do any form of experience grinding in the game. And now we're back near the entrance. Oh, hi there. The legendary Pokemon hasn't shown up. It's dark, I'm hungry, I'm taking it out on you! Where did you even manage to find a Crawdon in the... oh, I guess you know what's against the Gorok squad was in the waterworks. This is probably meant to be that same one from down there. I pick a fight and I get creamed. Does this qualify as pathetic? At least you're self-aware. So now that we have 3 Hariyamas, I recommend starting with the 2 Rockfalls that are closer to the Fall City side of the cave, and then using that save point we just saw on the way over to the next one. I thought it was a Pokemon, but nope, it's a person. Even better, a ranger. You're perfect for trying out these new Pokemon I caught with my new type styler. You know what? I can respect the all-Zubat team. Crobat's amazing. If you manage to evolve them somehow, you'd have a good team there, buddy.
Is the exit this way? Thank you. Bye-bye. I don't know why. Something about the attitude that Go Rock Squad members get when you defeat them is probably one of my favorite team interaction types in the series. Because, like, Team Rocket are like, ah! And so was Team Magma. Magma and Aqua. Something about their pathetic, like, I'm sorry, can I go now? It just makes me laugh. But with that, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 8, we're gonna finish exploring the Crockett Cave and breaking the final rock falls before seeing what lies at the end of this mission for us. See you guys then.